Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Majin Reviews. Today we're gonna look at a game known as Magicka. If you don't know what Magicka is, it's time you knew. The game was developed by a small Swedish company known as Arrowhead Game Studios, and it is being published by Paradox Interactive. It's an action-adventure game based on Norse mythology, but you wouldn't know that because of all the times the game breaks the fourth wall. Probably what I loved the best about it was that NPCs would randomly break the fourth wall, not because they needed to, but because they got in a good joke. The plot is centered around a mage, or a group of mages, or wizards, depending if you were playing single player, one, or multiplayer, several mages that are from a sacred order led by a vampire named Vlad. Beep. Hold on, guys, I just got an email. Says, I'm not a vampire, signed Vlad. Yeah, so the order is led by a non-vampire, Vlad, who is your guide and points you in the right direction for the entirety of the game. Other than that, there's not really much to say about the story. The game, in my opinion, only has three characters: Vlad, yourself, the silent hero, and the game itself. By that I mean that there's no single NPC to call a character. There's nobody you can get attached to. You can kill every single one of them without having any worries, and it's so fun. Help me, wizard! Boom, NPC dead. Also, each NPC individually provides a great variety of one-liners that really don't provide any depth for the story. However, each one puts a smile on your face. For example, there was this one guy who was wondering what was behind a door that he couldn't get through. So I shot down the door with a rock. Just threw a rock at it, went through. Found out what what there was, and then I talked to the NPC and he said, "Now I think I feel empty." Laughed my ass off. Other small tidbits like that compensate for the lack of any deep story or well-developed characters. So I have to, give props to the story aspect of the game. The visuals of the game are simply quirky, funny, colorful, and bloody. Despite the fact that it's a very simplistic design, as you can clearly see, it just fits the atmosphere. The blood and the colors are beautiful, very lively. The atmosphere is just fun. Even the vampire, the non-vampire Vlad is just fun. However, the blood and gore are just the opposite of the entire game. So you have this beautiful cartoonish design with blood, exploding corpses, and stuff like that. So it's just a really nice contrast. What I do have to say, visually the game lacks in model diversity. Vlad has a unique model, but otherwise everything is just identical. Even the character creation only allows you to choose your wizard's robe, and you can be the color of the robe, and you can be pink. That's right, pink Gandalf is now a possibility. However, allowing some, decals on your robes would have been nice. At the end of the day, you can't complain. The effect they were actually going for was having Power Ranger wizards, and that's really exactly what you got. You really can't complain about that. But as I said, a little bit of diversity would have been nice. If not necessarily for the character, maybe having your enemies be just a little different. Right now only textures differ on them, but I suppose you can't really complain about that at the end of the day. So let's move on. Now the real clincher for this game, what really turns this game into an instant classic, is the gameplay, obviously. Since you don't have unimpressive story or impressive visuals, what really gets you in is the gameplay. It takes a simple concept of combining elements and creates a powerful sense of fun. Now, you have 8 elements: water, life, shield, ice, lightning, arcane, earth, and fire, as displayed in the bottom left corner. You also have 5 charge slots. So you have that you can either max out with one element or combine them for devastating results. Just try not to heal your enemies. As far as controls go, they're easy to comprehend via mouse and keyboard. I haven't tried the controller yet. Left click to move, shift plus left click to use your sword, right click to cast your current charged up combination, shift plus right click to AoE cast that specific combination, and middle click to cast on yourself, and last spacebar to cast predefined spells. Now, if you're wondering what these are, they're exactly what they sound like. A combination of elements with a specific result that is different from what you might expect. So, normally you can use, let's say, well, you can use lightning, arcane, and fire. And if you right click, you get a beam of flaming arcane lightning, which is awesome, deals a lot of damage. However, if you press spacebar while having that charge combination, you get haste. So you understand how this works. Now, as you can figure out, the number of spells are, well, the number of spells are huge. However, the only bad part about the gameplay and this combination are the enemies. Oh, they're great, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of them and they hit hard, and you find yourself in combat being very pressured, and you find yourself casting the same space and creating a rotation of simple spells or a simple ability that works well for you. Again, that's not a bad thing, but considering that the game's main attribute is the diversity of spells, it's strange that the game doesn't encourage that. It forces you to focus on creating a efficient method of dealing with your enemies. I believe that in the multiplayer version, if you play on multiplayer, this is great because you can have assigned roles. Okay, you focus on healing combinations, you focus on fire combinations, you focus on ice combinations, you focus on getting shields for everybody. So it can work a lot better in multiplayer, and it is my honest opinion that the game should be played in multiplayer. So yeah, another reason why you should really buy it, get it for your friends, or maybe have your friends get it with you, and everything can just go wonderfully. Now, the last part about the game, and what really needs to be talked about, is the sound. Now, the sound can be split in two things in any game: music, ambience, and voice acting, obviously. Nothing really bad to be said about the music. It's fun, it's great, it has enough diversity, so let's leave it at that. There's nothing really else to be said. However, what makes the sound quality in this game top-notch is the voice acting. It's hilarious. Cutscenes are in English, so that's well enough, and they have some nice jokes in there, but But the NPC conversations are either in Swedish or in gibberish. Sadly, I do not have any Swedish friends, so I cannot confirm if it's actually Swedish, but it's some sort of combination between Swedish with English words thrown in there. So it is my humble opinion that at the end of the day, it's some sort of gibberish that just, I don't know, fits the world. And the quirky sounds, don't worry, you have written translations on the screen for what they're actually saying, but in English, but the quirky sounds, the accents, and the way they do it, the way each line is performed, is just fun, funny, and you have a great and phenomenal time listening to it and playing the game. Overall, I think this is one of the best games that I've played, and one of the best games to come out in recent memory. Remember, this is an extremely exciting game, and it was made by 8 people. That's right, 8 people. 8 people worked day in and day out with a fairly simple concept and produced a product that is beyond what anybody really expected for it. One of the developers really said this: "We will bloody hell support this game until our fingers bleed from cracking on the keyboards." And it is my opinion that they'll do exactly that. This is a labor of love. This game is a labor of love, and out of that love comes a great product that you can either play alone or with friends, and you will have hours upon hours of endless fun and joy. Now, to end, I'd like to say that if you have the money, this is a game to buy. This is one of those games that needs support and love from gamers, that because this game was made for us. It was made for us, and it is a product of love, as I said, and it's just fun. I can't stress enough in this I don't know, post production commentary on how much I enjoyed this game. There are faults in it. It's not perfect. It's not necessarily the end all be all. It's not. It doesn't really break the sound barrier, but it really warms itself and finds itself in your heart really fast. It just is so fun. It's so extremely fun, and it's just warms my heart to see that 8 people could have actually produced such a high quality game, considering that big studios sometimes fail miserably at producing a game that they probably spend more money advertising than they do producing it. So on that note, I'd like to end this review with this. Thank you, Arrowhead, for providing the gaming industry with with the proof that such a labor of love can be produced. And thank you guys for watching. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.